Good morning. This is Keisha Spivey, and I am bringing you your Friday fire. I was sitting at my desk studying, and then it dawned on me it's Friday. So I am recording your message just a little bit later, but I think it was worth the wait. I want to read a very familiar scripture to you. And then I want to read it to you out of the Message Bible. It's out of 2 Corinthians 4:17. And the verse is, "For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison." You know, when we hear that verse, we think about every area of our life, all that we're facing, all that we're dealing with, how we should look at it through the light of bringing God glory. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to read it out of the Message Bible. And I want you to let this sink in. Let these words, let this picture be painted for you in your mind so that as we look at your life, you'll be to find yourself in it. It says, and this is 2 Corinthians 4:17 through 18, the Message Bible. It says, "So we're not giving up. How could we? Even though on the outside, it often looks like things are falling apart on us. On the inside, where God is making new life, not a day goes by without His unfolding grace. These hard times are small potatoes compared to the common good times, the lavish celebration prepared for us. There's far more here than meets the eye. The things we see now are here today and they're gone tomorrow, but the things we cannot see will last forever." Again, that's 2 Corinthians 4:17 through 18. And I just wanted to talk to people right now who just might be going through something. You might be feeling the pressure. You know, just a couple weeks ago, you were singing Happy New Year to me, but things haven't started unwinding like you thought they would. Maybe things are taking off a little slower than you thought. Maybe you were hit with some financial things you were not expecting. Your spouse is acting a little funny. Your money's acting funny. Your kids are acting a little crazy. You're like, what is going on? Maybe you've gone to the doctor and the doctor's report wasn't necessarily what you wanted to hear. So you might be feeling a little weighted down with the cares of this world. A couple things I want to share with you. Number one is cast those cares. They're not yours. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus hung on that cross to carry those cares for you. And so you're carrying them now is basically saying what he did wasn't good enough for you. So the first thing I want you to do is release those cares because they're not yours. The second thing I want you to do is to step back and cast your eyes up. I want you to look to the hills from which cometh your help, because your help cometh from the Lord. But as you're looking up, I want you to realize that every single thing that you're facing right here today, and even what might be waiting for you on tomorrow, has a purpose greater than what you can see. I know it's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. It doesn't feel good, but there's something bigger going on than what you can see. I just happen to believe that some of the afflictions and some of the challenges and some of the obstacles that are going on in our life, that God is using them as tools to perfect his plan in our lives. He's using them as tools to pull away parts of ourselves that need to be removed. He's using them as tools to prune us away from ego and pride and self-dependence and self-reliance. I think God is using some of these challenges and some of these obstacles as tools, kind of like a GPS system to locate us. Exactly where are we in our faith? Exactly where are we in him? Exactly where are we in our identity? He's using them as tools because there's a greater work to be done on the inside of us that we can't see. And in the process of us going through and overcoming and crossing over these things, it's all for his glory. What if you step back and you looked at that situation and say, okay, God, how do I bring you glory from this? What about my attitude needs to reflect you? What about my character needs to reflect you? What about my mind and my thoughts need to reflect you? What about my love walk? How do I reflect you? Even in the midst of the betrayal and the disappointment and the hurt and the despair. God, how do I look like you? How do I walk through this fire and not even smell like smoke? How do the people looking at me see? I wonder what in the world and how in the world she's going through. And then we turn around and we share the word of our testimony, how you are our strength and you are our ever-present help. You are our way of escape. You are the lifter of our heads. Just what if we turned around and stopped looking at the situation and how we felt? And our comfort and what was convenient. And we look to Christ and say, okay, God, how do you get glory? And even trusting that in some way, you're going to take this situation because we're in you and you're ordering our steps and you're going to work it out for our benefit. Even though it doesn't look like it, smell like it, sound like it, or even feel like it, we have the trust built in our hearts and the assurance that this too will work out for our good because we're tucked away in you. So today I want you to step back. Stop whining and complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. Cancel the pity party of one. Nobody's interested. But I want to challenge you to realize there is nothing in your life that snuck in on God. There's no surprises. He's not sitting in heaven saying, oh my God, what are we going to do now? He wrote the end of your story before there was even a beginning. And you got to trust that he is navigating you through even those uncharted areas, that uncharted territory. Yes, he's told you to get out and walk on the water, but he's not left you alone. As you walk, you got to keep fixed on him and take one step before the other. I know the arrows are coming and the attacks are coming and the assaults are coming and the persecution is coming. That's part of the plan. The Bible tells us many of the afflictions of the righteous, but God. There's nothing like a big old Bible, but as Sharika Stanley taught me years ago, that but God changes everything. So when you put a but God in your situation today and you get a only God perspective and you walk through it for his glory, you overcome for his glory, you get determined and realize that quitting is not an option. It says here, we're not giving up. How could we? How could we? We can't give up. The end of the story says we win. No matter what the weapon is, we win. Giving up is not an option. He says, even though on the outside it looks like things have fallen apart, on the inside, God is doing something new. You need to stand on that. You got to realize that nothing you're facing is being faced without God's unending grace, his unlimited, unmerited, unfavored, unconditional love toward you. You have grace for that thing. So you walk through it and you give God glory, you give God praise, and you stand in expectation of, as this verse says, the things that are coming that your mind can't even imagine, the great things he has in store for you. So God bless you. Have an amazing weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on next Friday. If you're in Greensboro, I'd love for you to join us at One Church. We're going to be doing the Be Still Women's Conference there. I get the pleasure of speaking on Saturday and that Sunday, and I would love to have you in the house. Again, that's in Greensboro, North Carolina. One Church. So you have an amazing day, and I will speak to you next Friday.